This is Tragedy by the Sea, one of the most disturbing and sad photos of all time. Okay, so first glance at this photo, you just think it's a couple arguing at the beach, right? But believe it or not, this photo might have the most unsettling and disturbing backstory ever.
You somehow bagged Tom Brady. Then imagine telling Tom Brady, who's the greatest of all time, that he has to choose between you and football. You see this family? You then break up your family because you couldn't deal with him playing one more season after you dealt with it for 20 seasons, all right? And you...
I'm back. It's your boy Fittie, and today I got this video for you guys. Don't mind me being shirtless, you know, I just came from the gym and I was tired. I was like, honestly, bro, I just want to hop on, record. Kind of just don't want to waste any time, so I just did it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. I didn't forget about the streaming. I'm about to stream for y'all. I was trying to do it last week like I promised, but there's so much things I need to set up that like need more time, if you get what I'm saying. I need more time to set things up, get things moving, so it can be smooth. Like, we don't want no laggy stream, no, like, you know what I'm saying? We want a smooth stream so you guys can see everything without the lag and if you get what I'm trying to say. So I'm in the works with that. Trust the process. It's coming soon. Stream's gonna be fire, so make sure to tune in. If you guys like the chain, check the link down in the description. You already know what to do.
Signs that you or your friends are serial killers. Number 1, antisocial behavior. Number 2, setting things on fire. It doesn't have to be houses. Number 3, torturing animals. Number 4, having a troubled family history and substance abuse. Number 5, they're pretty smart but cannot keep a job. Do you know anyone that could be a serial killer?
Honestly, I feel like I know a lot of people that could potentially be a serial killer. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that they are, but they could potentially. I feel like we all do. If you know someone that could be a serial killer, send them this video, or at least send them this part of the video.
Some of the most random fun facts you will ever hear in your life. Armadillo shells are actually bulletproof. One time a man was hospitalized when he shot at an armadillo and the bullet ricocheted off the shell and hit him instead. There's only one letter in the entire alphabet that isn't in any US state name, and that letter is Q. There's not a single state with the letter Q in its name. 71% of the earth is covered in water, and humans can only use 0.007% of that water. 2.5% of the total water is fresh water, and only 1% of that is actually accessible. The bumblebee bat is the smallest mammal in the entire world. These things can rest on your fingertips and you might not even know because they weigh 0.05 to 0.07 ounces. Ostriches are the world's largest and heaviest living bird. It's why they can't fly, but they are built for running, and they can reach speeds of up to 43 miles per hour, and they can pretty easily coast at 30 miles per hour. The longest English word is 189,819,000 letters long. It's a protein and its nickname is titin, and it would take around 3.5 hours to say the word out loud.
And sing this little song. Run, run, run.
People who gained real-life superpowers after an accident. Jason Padgett was a party animal who hated school and got terrible grades. But one day 2 men savagely robbed and attacked Jason outside of a karaoke bar, leaving him with a severe concussion. The concussion caused him to become a mathematical genius and made him learn fractal geometry, which he had never been taught before. When Derek Amato was 39 years old, he hit his head after diving into a swimming pool and was diagnosed with a concussion and 35% hearing loss. After that, Derek began to see black and white keys in his head, and out of nowhere, he began to play the piano like an expert. Ben McMahon was in a car accident in 2015 and fell into a coma for a week. When he woke up, he could speak perfect Chinese even though he had only learned the basics as a child. Tony Ciceria was struck by lightning after making a call in a phone booth. Within a couple days, he was addicted to music, which he wasn't before. After trying the piano, he became a musical artist, composing his own music.
I'm thinking to myself, like, you know how many boxers got severe concussions or punched up in the head and they just went vegetable? I'm thinking about it like, how many of them could have really just became like a genius after getting knocked out? They're just like, oh yo, I just solved the...
His mother hid sticky notes in her daughter's sock to be saved from captivity. This 28-year-old mother and 2 kids, 7-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old son, Mason Dominguez, were held captive by a man named Brandon Tusland. This all started in January 2021 when the father of the 2 kids, Eli Dominguez, passed away from pneumonia. The mother was happily married to Eli, but since his death, she began to struggle financially. That's when Eli's former friend, Brandon, offered to support her and her 2 kids. In March 2021, the mother and 2 kids moved into Brandon's home, and that's when he became controlling and abusive. He alienated her from her family, made her quit her job, and confiscated her phone. He put locks on the bedroom doorknobs, installed motion sensors, and duct taped her to the bed. She was also handcuffed when she rode in the car with him. But one day, the mother spotted a sticky notepad and a pen in his car, and that's when she began a weeks-long plan to seek help. The mother found the perfect chance to put a sticky note in her daughter's sock, and on February 22nd at 8:40 a.m., the 7-year-old girl went to school and gave the sticky note to her teacher. The note said that her mother was being held against her will and she needed help right away. School officials notified authorities and Brandon was arrested right away. But it doesn't end there. This is when things get super disturbing. Brandon kept her kids away from her most of the time, and especially when she was locked up. And she actually had not seen her 4-year-old son, Mason Dominguez, since December 11th, and she suspected he was dead. When the mother lost full contact with her son, she knew she had to find a way out to save her and her daughter. When police searched his house, they found the remains of 4-year-old Mason Dominguez in his freezer in his garage.
That's so horrible. Somebody needs to put that guy in freaking prison, man. Like, lock him away with the dogs. Like, ew.
Tastiophobia. Thalassophobia.
These toy designers messed up big time. I'm pretty sure there was a better spot to put this straw on Buzz Lightyear. Come on. And I've never seen a duck with 4 legs before. Have you? I poop glitter. But why is this even a toy? And why this designer made Harry Potter blue? I'll never understand. And this looks like a normal cute horse, right? Well, it actually has a Barbie head as the tail. I am a sweet baby. Let's have fun together. Yeah, you don't look too sweet. And I think there's something up with this Woody doll. And I'm not sure what's going on with this baby's eye. Here are some of the rarest human mutations that actually exist. Firstly, every 1 in 1,000 people have a perfect 10 face, meaning that all of their features fit perfectly within these lines. Now, every 1 in 107 people experience something called mirror touch. It's where you feel the sensation of touch in the same or opposite body part when you see somebody else being touched. Now, 4% of people have something known as sweaty palm syndrome. I'm sure you can guess what that is. It's where your palms sweat when you're not even being active. And the rarest mutation is werewolf syndrome. This is where you have excessive hair growth all over your body, and only 50 people worldwide have this.
This is Tragedy by the Sea, one of the most disturbing and sad photos of all time. Okay, so first glance at this photo, you just think it's a couple arguing at the beach, right? But believe it or not, this photo might have the most unsettling and disturbing backstory ever. On the morning of April 2nd, 1954, Los Angeles Times photographer named John Gaunt, who was pictured in the middle of this photo, was relaxing on his front yard of his beachfront house when he heard a neighbor shout, "Something's happening on the beach." He then instinctively grabbed his camera and rushed over to see the horrified couple clutching each other on the beach. On the shore stood a young couple named Mr. and Mrs. McDonald, and their body language made John's stomach turn. He realized that someone must be lost, and he then took a photograph from 200 yards away. Only then did he learn that just moments before, the couple's 19-month-old son Michael, who had been playing in the yard, had wandered down to the beach and crawled into the violent waters while they weren't looking. Despite the back and forth efforts by the parents, there was nothing they can do but just wait. Unfortunately, later that day, the child's dead body was washed up about a mile away on the beach. And this photo, titled "Tragedy by the Sea," appeared on the front page of the Times the very next day. John Gaunt then won the 1955 Pulitzer Prize Award, calling the photo poignant and profoundly moving. But he also received heavy criticism for capitalizing on the family's tragedy for his photo opportunity. But now take a look at this photo, knowing everything you do, and tell me it's not one of the saddest and most disturbing photos ever.
The darkest conspiracy theories. The Teletubbies theory. The theory says that the show is inspired by historic events that happened in a Bulgarian mental facility. Each Teletubby is inspired by a kid that was experimented on. Lola was based on a child who had facial disfigurement and had to smile all the time. Tinky Winky was based on a deaf child who was tied to a fence outside and suffered frostbite. Gypsy was inspired by a child who was constantly sick and ended up lying in his own puke. And Poe was based on a child who fell into fire, which is recognizable why his color is red.
This 14-year-old boy S8 his 83-year-old neighbor. Viewers' discretion is strongly advised. On August 29th of 2018, 14-year-old Tyrone Harvin told his 83-year-old neighbor, Dorothy Mae Neal, that he would help her with some chores inside of her apartment. Before walking into her apartment, he made sure to grab a handful of condoms. Tyrone did help Dorothy with some chores before attacking her with a lamp. After that, Tyrone S8'd her, he fled her apartment, and he left her seriously injured on the floor and naked. Neighbors had asked police to do a welfare check on Dorothy since they hadn't seen her around for a couple of days. When officers showed up at her apartment, they noticed dried blood on her doorknob, and that's when they saw Dorothy lying naked on the floor. She was then taken to the University of Maryland Hospital Trauma Unit and unfortunately passed away that next day. When officers were at Dorothy's home, they noticed that there was several condom wrappers around her body as well as used condoms. A broken, bloodied lamp was also found by officers. Dorothy's autopsy revealed that she suffered extensive trauma to her head and genitals. There was DNA on Dorothy's body and in those condoms, and that DNA matched up to Tyrone. Despite all of the evidence, Tyrone's mom stood by his side and truly believed that he would never do something like this. On June 29th of 2022, Tyrone was convicted on first-degree murder, first-degree SA, and use of a deadly weapon. Tyrone was also sentenced to life in prison.
I know when you're younger than 18, like, you can't really get convicted as an adult. But honestly, that kid deserved life in prison. Like, what are you doing? A grandma, bro? 83 years old and you're 14? Like, what?
Oh, no. No, 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 silly. To dry it. But it exploded. And they were both found dead.
Here's some random things we all did as kids. Who remembers pouring glue all over their hand and peeling it off? How satisfying was that? And we definitely have all gotten our fingers stuck in one of these at least one time. Who remembers feeling like the coolest kid with a pencil this small? And we all ran our fingers along these grooves at school. Admit it, we all stabbed our eraser with our pencil like this. And we definitely all unraveled the design of these pencils. And we all dove to the bottom of the pool to pick up these rings. Who remembers using these blocks in school? And we've definitely all tried pushing down all of the colors at one time.
AI art is not something that's terribly new, but have you heard about the woman that is haunting AI pictures? This is the face, and nobody can explain why she keeps showing up in AI images. If you look at her, she's not really general. I mean, there are specific characteristics here that are consistent. Again, nobody knows which prompts are generating this woman. Nobody knows why her face continues to appear in different models. So this has opened up one of my favorite questions about the idea that AI pictures can be haunted. And don't forget, if things like this are of interest to you, make sure to go check out the podcast.
Generals for real need to study how the coyote managed to finesse its two biggest enemies, and all they had to do was wait and play the long game. So once upon a time, humanity saw this canyon puppy and decided it was on site ever since. America started murking coyotes like they were made out of oil. Mark Twain hated him so much, he wrote a 3-page MLA format essay on why coyotes deserve nothing. If you thought Kendrick hated Drake, that is nothing on the abhorrence this man had for a travel-sized wolf. So much that it literally inspired a pain magnet of a Looney Tune. Now here's the first problem of beefing with coyotes. Coyotes are basically canine cockroaches. The harder you try to murk them, the harder they work to birth them. Apparently they even have this roll call where a female will call out and all the coyotes in an area will answer, and if she doesn't hear a lot of yotes back, it'll actually trigger her body to make more pups. Now op number 2, wolves don't mess with coyotes at all, like to a homicidal level, to the point where wolves will hard bully coyotes in the same area. Now here's where the get back happened. While we were out here spam killing coyotes, we were also at war with wolves, except getting generationally stepped on by wolves made coyotes that much more adaptable. So while the big bad wolf was getting smoked, coyotes were out here Euro-stepping extinction. And when wolves got packed up in the US, for coyotes it was free real estate. So not only did we accidentally become coyote allies, the wolf dating pool got so low, eventually they started doing the unspeakable with the ops to survive, leading to the coy wolf. It's exactly what it sounds like. Remember, wolves hate coyotes more than anything. So just like that, coyotes managed to outcompete their biggest enemy and also colonize their bloodline. And with coyotes found in every state that isn't Hawaii, they basically humbled humanity too. And that's why I rock with them. They're alive out of spite, and I respect that.
Man, I hope all that salmon I've been eating don't have tapeworms. Bro, you're always looking at that like, what the? That doesn't even look real, bro. General question, so for all my people out there that like eating fish, do y'all think that there's tapeworms in the salmon that we eat? There's no way, right? Because we cook our food. Like, there's no way. Or am I bugging?
Expected emergency alert systems in different countries. Firstly, if you don't know, countries have different emergency alert systems. The one I'm used to is America's that sounds like this. But on the other hand, we have the country of Barbados, which honestly sounds like club music. Next is Japan, which to me isn't that scary and just sounds like a notification. Now, one that I would genuinely be terrified by is Ireland's. Just imagine waking up to this. Finally, you know, I'm kind of glad that America's emergency alarm isn't too scary because Denmark is on another level.
Adult jokes in kids' cartoons you probably didn't notice.
Hey, cutie! Wanna pollinate with a real bug? Ooh, lady, come like Papa. Yeah.
So, being a ladybug automatically makes me a girl. Is that it, flyboy? Huh?
Yikes! She's a guy!
Knowledge you wish you didn't know, Gandhi was racist and sexist. He kept a bunch of underage girls with him all the time. He would bathe with them, get full body massages from them, and sleep naked with them in order to test himself. He also thought women were responsible for their own sexual assaults and was totally cool with fathers killing their own daughters after they had been sexually assaulted for family honor.
Yeah, that's the shit they don't tell you in school. Gandhi, bro, I thought you was all loving, caring, and amazing. What the hell?
Lauren was shot 15 times, and 8 of those shots were fatal. Emergency personnel arrived at the scene as well as local neighbors so that they could assist. At that point, no one had told Lauren's parents that she had been shot. Lauren's mom, Bianca, was unaware of what was going on and was just doing what she normally did, waiting at home for Lauren to arrive. But then, one of her friends pulled up to her house asking if Lauren was home yet. Her mom was confused about this question and responded and said, "No, why?" And the friend, in a panic, said, "Kids are down," and then left. So her mom, Bianca, didn't hesitate or even let her dad, Vern, know what she was doing, and she just booked it out the front door to make sure that it wasn't her child that was, quote, down. Lauren's dad, Vern, could tell that something was wrong because Bianca wasn't the kind of person to just jump up, flee the house without saying anything or indicating what was wrong. So he knew something was up. So he immediately hopped in his truck and he followed her. There were tons of police cars, ambulances, people, and now crime scene tape blocking the area off. So Bianca was just looking around in a complete panic, trying to see if Lauren was there while simultaneously trying to assess the situation and come to terms with what was going on, and that is when she laid eyes on Lauren. In that moment, her worst fears realized and her worst nightmares come true, seeing her daughter on the ground appearing to have been shot.
Okay, this is getting creepy. We're now finding out that a doomsday fish washed up dead in San Diego just 2 days before California was rattled by that 4.6 magnitude earthquake. I mean, come on. Now for anyone that doesn't know, we've spoken about this before, but according to Japanese mythology, the oarfish, which is very rarely seen by humans because they swim at depths of roughly 200 to 1,000 meters, well, is said to intentionally rise to the surface and beach themselves ahead of an impending earthquake, hence the name. And I made a video earlier this year when one was spotted before the Japan earthquake, and now again for this one. So, now remember, there is no scientific evidence that has proven a correlation between them washing up and earthquakes. So as of right now, all we can say is just it's a freaky coincidence.
Scariest haunted attractions in the world, part 2. Today we're going to be talking about the 17th door. This attraction is so much different than the rest because actors are allowed to touch you. There's also a slight possibility that you'll get your hair cut here, which makes things like 100 times worse. Put you through various levels and rooms that just kind of keep getting worse. The room that you're seeing here actually turns and spins while you're in it. It's really trippy, especially if you don't know it's coming. You can watch a walkthrough of this place online. A lot of commenters were saying that this doesn't do the place justice. Basically, they were holding back a little for the people recording, supposedly. Oh yeah, and here's their lovely little barber shop. I wouldn't go here, but let me know if you would.
I hope when she says haircut there, she doesn't mean like you just walk in and they're just like, ha, loser, snip, snip. I'd be so mad. I know they probably have contracts and agreements that you have to sign before you go in, but if the agreement says allowed to cut hair at any time, hell no, I'm not doing that. You know how much money I pay to get these done, bro? You think I wanted some random to just cut my shit? I'll be tight.
Beetlejuice is not going to try to marry Jenna Ortega's character in the sequel. I feel like the trailers make it abundantly clear that he's trying to get back with Lydia again. First thing he does when he sees her is he grabs her and he says, I'm gonna make you so happy. He even has a picture of Lydia on his desk and then he says, now's my chance. The trailer kind of implies that Lydia's husband dies at the beginning of the movie, so maybe the movie is about Beetlejuice trying to be a father to Jenna Ortega's character. He puts down the newspaper and it says obituary, so he probably found out someone died and he thought, now is my time. Let me have another chance with Lydia. You can even see in the trailer that he's at the altar with Lydia. You can also see a wedding cake in the chapel and you see that this is Lydia with the red dress from the first movie. Like the first wedding outfit is on the wedding cake. And we even see her in a chapel in the red dress. Because I know that Jenna Ortega is wearing a white dress here, but if she was marrying Beetlejuice, it would be this white dress. Also, let's be honest, like, it's 2024. I think they realized that they kind of made him look like a creep in the old movie and that society doesn't like that anymore, or they're not okay with that. And they acknowledge that in the musical. There's a whole song about how Lydia's marrying a creepy old guy and she's an underage bride. Also, this is a fan-made photo. But I know they added this character, I think her name's Dolores, that's gonna be Beetlejuice's wife. I can't wait for this movie though. Let me know your thoughts and follow my TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube for more. It really helps when you interact.
Did Will Smith really mean to tell us?
Y'all, we out here on vacation in the Bahamas. Another beautiful day. Check it out. Check it out. Boom. I want to talk to y'all for a minute about the power of perception. You see, there's a lot that goes in to being a hot social media content provider. For instance, y'all think I got time to go on vacation? No. I got social to do. Come on, man, this is blue screen. In fact, I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. I haven't looked like this good in years. I've been totally computer generated since like the 90s. You know what? This ain't even real blue screen. It's 2019, y'all. Nothing's real.
So tell me, do you believe, was Disney trying to tell us something? Crazy, right? Some things are just an optical illusion, right? Well, is this an optical illusion? Look at that and tell me you don't know what that is. Go ahead and tell me that confidently and mean it, because you know darn well what that is. You can see it. No, that's not a carving. That's a petrified animal from the days of old.
Do you see this?
Yes.
Do you see this?
Yep.
It's freaking nature, and it's freaking awesome.
Yes, it is. And I don't think science can properly explain how these animals were petrified so quickly to where they were able to preserve their form through all these years. And you know, that really got me thinking. There's plenty of statues on this earth that are thousands of years old. Now, what if they were petrified beings? Now, I know, it's just a thought. And yeah, I can't wait for the Mount Rushmore jokes. And you can joke all you want, but I promise you truth is stranger than fiction.
The actor that plays Art the Clown vomited from how gross Terrifier 3 is about to be. In fact, there were a lot of really big production companies that wanted to be involved in making Terrifier 3. The creator ended up turning it down because he didn't want to have less gore and tone down certain scenes. To stick it to these companies, he said, we're gonna make it even worse. He even said that they're gonna make the bedroom scene from the last movie look like a little kid thing. Like, that is how intense this movie is going to be. That is the level that we're about to be on. It's supposedly an unwritten rule that you're not supposed to do anything to kids. Like when bad things happened to Georgie and it was like such a like game changer, and so many people were like really upset that they would kid in a film. And I don't know about you, but I'm thinking of so many movies where they don't follow that rule. But they are not about to hold back. I don't understand how they can do like the bedroom scene and then be able to put that in the movie theater. The scene took 3 years to make, and it was so intense that people were either vomiting or walking out of the theater. But it was insane. It was so like an awakening. Terrifier the franchise is just known for upsetting the mainstream and pushing boundaries in horror, which I love. But one thing is certain, I absolutely cannot wait for this film.
I actually remember watching Terrifier 2, and it was kind of gory, but in my opinion, it wasn't that bad. It was not that bad.
Year-old Melissa Chavez and how they tried to cover up her murder with arson. Firefighters discovered that she was actually stabbed to death before the fire even started, and whoever had done this had tried to cover up the murder with arson. Melissa was the only person inside the house during the fire, so where was everyone else? Well, police were able to get surveillance footage from a neighbor, and it captured Luis, Melissa's stepfather, and her half-brother leaving the home at around 10:30 in the morning. Then, shortly after, at around 11:15 in the morning, you can see the mother, Mirta, leaving the home. Then, firefighters and police were called at around 11:21 in the morning. So, what happened in those 6 minutes? So, police went to go speak to Mirta and Luis about this, and they defended themselves. They did interviews where they were crying, saying that they couldn't believe that this had happened and that they had nothing to do with this and that they honestly thought a stranger had done this. Someone was watching the house and waited for everyone to leave, and when they finally saw Mirta leaving, that's when they decided to go inside the house, kill Melissa, and then set the house into flames. They were asking for justice, and they wanted whoever had done this to be caught and punished. Police asked Luis, where did you and your son go at 10:30 in the morning? And Luis says that he took his son to his school to get vaccinated. Then they asked Mirta, where did you go at 11:15 in the morning? And she says that she went to the dentist. That morning, she asked Melissa, can you go to the dentist with me? And that Melissa said no, that she wanted to stay home because she was going to go stop by a friend's house later that day to give her a birthday present. So Mirta decided to go to the dentist by herself. Mirta says that she truly believes that when she walked into Melissa's room to ask her if she wanted to go to the dentist, that the killer was inside the room hiding. However, police didn't really believe this. Forensics determined that the fire had started 30 minutes before Mirta even left the house, which means that Mirta was literally inside the home when the fire started. Autopsy was also returned, and it determined that Melissa had a blow to the head and that she had 11 stab wounds. The pathologist says that Melissa could have been saved. You know, if police were called in that moment, they probably could have saved her. However, whoever killed Melissa left her dying there for over an hour before the house was lit on fire. Again, if Melissa was stabbed over an hour before the fire even started, that means that Mirta was still inside the house. How did Mirta not hear someone come inside the house, go upstairs, brutally attack her daughter, and then start lighting the house on fire? Besides revealing that she had 11 stab wounds and a blow to the head, it was also revealed that Melissa was essayed just 6 hours before her death. This poor 12-year-old girl went through so much before she was killed. With all this evidence, police arrested Mirta and they charged her with parricide and arson. And they also arrested Melissa's stepfather, Luis, for repeated R-wording and essaying Melissa. In the end, Mirta was sentenced to 33 years in prison, while Luis was only sentenced to 10 years. The motive as to why people believe that Mirta did this was out of jealousy for her daughter. Allegedly, she was jealous that her husband, Luis, was giving Melissa more attention than to her. Now, while most people do believe that Mirta did do this, there are some people that have doubt. And the reason for this
this is because the day of Melissa's death, a neighbor saw a man walking on the roof near the family's house wearing overalls and a gas mask. However, this man has never been found, but a lot of people find it suspicious. You know, what are the odds that a man was wearing a gas mask near the house before it was lit on fire? So some people think that maybe this guy did it, or others believe, you know, maybe Mirta hired this guy to do it. What happened to Melissa just breaks my heart. She was only 12 years old, and you know, she tried to ask for help and she reported the abuse, but nothing was done about it. It's unfortunate that she was sent back to live in this home where she continued to get abused, and you know, she was ultimately murdered.
This is the saddest villain backstory. Which one? His original name was Waylon Jones. When he was born, he had a rare medical condition where his body was covered in scales. He was constantly bullied and rejected by others. He met a girl named Emma, and they quickly became best friends. But it didn't last long. A child went missing in their town. They went to a nearby swamp and found him. Suddenly, a crocodile jumped out and attacked them, and Emma died in Waylon's arms. Everyone blamed him for the death of his only friend. This caused him to lose his humanity, taking on a new persona called Killer Croc.
What was Iraq really hiding? Wait a second. If you comment Thai, you will unlock a TikTok secret emoji. There exists a theory that the United States remained in Iraq for over 10 years after its liberation. Not for oil, but for something far more powerful. In the 1920s, a British explorer discovered what was rumored to be the world's oldest known Stargate, located at the site now known as the Great Ziggurat. Breaking news. Click on share, then on WhatsApp, and the second person that appears is your crush. In the 1980s, Saddam Hussein fortified the ancient complex to prevent explorers from seeing what was hidden there, or so the government claimed. Additionally, strange ancient technologies have been spotted outside the Great Ziggurat. Rumors suggest that they originate from an ancient civilization that lives on the hidden planet Nibiru, accessed through the Stargate. Hold on. No person in the comments will have 0 likes. Recently, many individuals have come forward claiming to have participated in classified programs in Iraq, where Stargate technology was used, and many people are asking questions.
Actually reminded me of a TikTok I saw yesterday that there was a UFO spotted in Ibiza. I might actually put it in. I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all that video. Yeah, y'all see how fast that shit moved? I was like, yo, it could, like, I don't know. Like, I'm thinking like maybe it is fake, maybe it's not, but I'm on the fence. What do you think? Put your thoughts in the comments.
Dark side of YouTube you've never seen. A Russian YouTuber back in 2015 created a series of videos where he mutated chicken X DNA. Last video, a mutated creature spit on his hand. He then killed it with a book and was never seen again.
I think the first time I saw that, I remember this man, I think, threw a Bible on it. I'm like, oh, the Bible. I don't know. He said a book, but I'm pretty sure it was the Bible. It was. I don't know. That was interesting times. That video came back out like over 5 to 10 years ago.
Imagine being a washed up retired supermodel, but you still think you the shit. You're completely washed up and you're not even that fine, right? Then you somehow bag Tom Brady. Then imagine telling Tom Brady, who's the greatest of all time, that he has to choose between you and football. You see this family? You then break up your family because you couldn't deal with him playing one more season after you dealt with it for 20 seasons, alright? And you would think breaking up your family for your own personal selfish happiness would be enough. But no. You then turn around and date someone close to your husband, the former family personal trainer or whatever the hell he was. Because Lord knows you couldn't go find you a man who's not within the circle. You got to keep things messy. You got to keep things really awkward for your children. But then, oh, come as a bitch. He breaks up with you because he can't deal with this drama, or possibly he broke up with you because you're 44 with 2 kids. My boy Tom, he coolin', doing goat things. Now that it's time to officially finalize this divorce, you know, she wants half the property, right? Turns out Tom Brady don't have no property. And y'all remember when I made this video? Imagine being married to one of the most famous and richest football players in the world. Then he gets accused of rape. And instead of waiting for him to be cleared, you're like, yo, this is the opportunity I've been waiting on. So you file for divorce. Now, obviously, sis is finna get paid. Then you find out during the divorce proceedings that all of his money and everything is in his mama name. Not only that, you owe him half of what you got because he's broke. Damn. Damn.
Oh yeah, I'm writing out one of the notes for the future. If I ever get married in the future, I'm doing exactly what they both did. In my opinion, I think that's a W play. If the world's playing checkers, these people are playing chess. Like, that's really smart. I'm telling y'all, the stream is coming soon. Make sure to look out for the stream. Y'all go mess with that. We have a lot checking out. I already got it planned out and everything. I just got to get everything set up and well. But anyways, if you guys like the video, please like the video. When was the last time I made like an actual video? I feel like it's been like a little bit. Remember to check the chains down in the description. Catch y'all later.